Okay guys, so this is the last of the mechanical stuff for a while, unless $6,000 falls into my pocket for the supercharger. I've upgraded all the brakes, all the suspension, the wheels, and next is to finish the exhaust. I've got the catback part. This is the unequal length headers, and I've also got the front pipe to show you in a sec. These are pretty hard to find now, since they're basically out of stock because they're polished. They only offer the brushed aluminium versions, which I didn't want because the rest of the exhaust is polished. I just want the whole thing polished all the way up. Even though you can't see it, I just want to know that it's there. So this also needs a tune, so hopefully next week I can book it in and get all that done. The expensive part is actually getting the license to get the car tuned. So these parts, as you've seen online before, are pretty easy to bolt on, but the tune is the part that makes the difference. And to get that torque dip out that everybody knows about, and a little bit more power to make up for those 19-inch wheels that I put on, so we can get it back to where it was a little bit. So let's have a look. This was from Exhaust Plus in Salisbury. I was quite lucky. I was dropping off a friend nearby, and I thought I'd just pop in to see if they had it. And yeah, they said it was out of stock. They don't make them anymore. They had another look in the inventory and said, hang on, there might be something out the back. He went out the back, and lo and behold, he had one left, just sitting there that I didn't know about. So you could say it was meant to be. So yes, this is the XForce version, polished as I've just mentioned. Let's have a look. Polished headers. I won't take them out of the bubble wrap. Yeah, they've got to go back in the box and take them out to AUTOLINC. You see it, very nice. Been sitting there for I don't know how many years. This is called the overpipe as well. See what's in here. Now these use the sensors off the original manifold. Obviously it's still on the original manifold. Yeah. That is, we've got the bolts and the gaskets, obviously. They've been sitting in there a long time by the look of it. Okay, next this is the front pipe. Wasn't quite sure that I needed this, but apparently I don't have it, so this will conclude the full exhaust system. This was from Car Mods Australia. It was on sale at Christmas time, so I grabbed that for myself. I guess it's a Christmas present there. Okay. Now the only thing with this one is that it wasn't polished. You just can't find the polished stuff anymore. It comes in brushed aluminium like almost everything else. So I decided I'll buy this and I'll try to polish it out to match everything else, considering it's basically a cylinder with a cap. So hopefully it shouldn't be too hard, and that'll match the rest of the exhaust system. I'm guessing these are the gaskets. This is all 3-inch. The extractors or headers are 2.5, and the reason why is because the car came with the catback exhaust, which is 3-inch and 4.5-inch tips. Because I'm getting a supercharger eventually, hopefully it'll be good for forced induction. So I didn't go for the 2.5. There we go. We've got the gaskets and the bolts included. Part number. You can see it's brushed, so I'm going to try and polish this out. I might be able to get away with sanding it, but not sanding it, sorry, but we'll see what happens. Okay guys, I've just been sanding with the 800 here just to get some of the I guess the brush look out. It's a very fine detail there. I'll just give it a quick, it's actually pretty smooth right now. I don't know if you can tell the difference there. But yeah, I'll just sand that down until we get that out, and then give it a polish and just see how it comes up. If not, I might have to go back to maybe something heavier like 320 and then go back around. Okay guys, I've been at it for about an hour and a half now. It would have been great to have some type of belt sand and this would have knocked it out, but again, I'm doing all this by hand, so I've gone through with the 320 on these two parts because there's just tiny little divots and pores from the steel, where this was already quite polished and brushed. But I've gone through the whole thing with, what was it, 800, 820? No, 320, sorry, 323 here to get most of it off. Clean up the weld areas as well. So now I'm just going to go over with the 800 one more time, which I did over this, and go through it, not too much but just enough. Then a quick spritz of 1000, and then that'll do it. Then I'll get started on the polishing, and it should turn up alright. It's not going to be a mirror finish, but it'll look nice. Okay, so we've gone through the 1800 and the 1500. I considered 2000, but considering the condition of it, I don't think it's really worthwhile wasting 2000, especially when it's under the car also. So I think the polishing now will just bring it up to where I want it to. The welding has really cleaned up, especially around here and just down here. This was a little bit hard to get into. But yeah, it didn't turn up too bad. There's a bit of a sheen. There's some, looks like jig marks on the actual exhaust itself, and that would take some severe sanding to get out, so I've left that. But yeah, next we'll get onto the polishing and I'll show you how it looks. Okay guys, and there we go, all polished. This bit here I could have gone a much heavier grit or a power tool to really get it to a mirror finish, but it is going up under the car, so I just to keep it realistic. But the welds came out really nicely, especially this bracket here came out a lot better than I expected it would. And here it was already finished much nicer, so the welds really came out well on there. Much shinier appearance. I think from where this was bolted on, this was already prefabbed. Probably explains why it came up better. But yeah, it's going to look much nicer now under the car, a little bit more. Okay guys, we're back at AUTOLINC here, and we've just had the exhaust done. Okay, so we'll do a drive home. It'll be the first time I'm hearing it as well. Just got to be quick here. It's raining today, unfortunately. The only day. The rest is sunny, so bad timing. But yeah, big thanks to Ben and Dan and everyone else involved, staff and team. So yeah, we'll get home and I'll go through it again maybe tomorrow. It's raining pretty hard now. Thanks guys, cheers. Okay guys, we're about to hear for the first time the new exhaust. So yeah, let's get going. turns up, but still not very obnoxious, which is really good. Still drives sedately without being irritating. Feels a little bit more bass here just through the seat. I can smell a bit of the exhaust warming up, burning up the bits and bobs. This is just to get a feel of day-to-day driving. I'm not reckon it's stupid, especially in the middle of rush hour. Feel like I've got a little bit more pull down the bottom end, which is what I wanted. Obviously there's nothing crazy, but it is noticeable. So before we finish, I forgot to say what's been done. So we had an Ecu Tek tune, which also tuned out that large startup sound that all the boxer engines have. The torque dip has been tuned out, and the whole car has been tuned, well, obviously for an engine back exhaust, plus the filter and the inlet duct. That's pretty much all I can think of. 3-inch from the overpipe back, 2.5-inch unequal length headers, and overpipe, which are all, again, as I said, XForce. Just a quick mention too before I finish the video here, we put the front pipe that was already on there back, and it turns out that this already had an XForce front pipe on it, and it looks like it was either 2.5 or 3 inch, I don't know, so it definitely wasn't the stock one, which makes me happy because it went through Regency with this and it was all fine. So yeah, I didn't need to really replace that. This one was a little bit banged up, but yeah, it's good to have the new one on there again anyway. So now it's a full engine back XForce exhaust. Just thought I'd mention that. Thanks guys.